go through whatever questions you might have. And here's my contact information. I know, Cheryl, you asked me, Cheryl asked me in an email to cover.
I'm here too, yeah.
Oh, did Cheryl pop in? Wonderful.
Basically, I was asking, so you do the design and then you have the contractors. Do you hire the contractors, or the borrower does, or the client does?
The client will be in direct contract with the contractor, but I'm happy to introduce people to contractors. So as I get to know somebody, I get to know their personality, and I will recommend 2 to 3 contractors that I think that will work well for their personality, for the type of project, for their location.
Excellent.
And do you manage the project from start to finish, working with the contractor that they choose?
Yes and no. So I don't actually manage, but I do work as a team member all the way through. So, and I don't have to. So some clients say, Alisa, I just want you to do design and design development. Design development is the actually picking out of materials, spelling it all out, getting everything on the drawings to align so that our permit drawings are the same as what's being installed. And you know, they feel comfortable having conversations with contractors through construction. But most of the time our clients want us to work all the way through, so we're their advocate through construction, but we're also there as a team member with the contractor. So we'll go out for the rough electrical, for example, and work with the electrician to say, okay, we have floor joists above our heads and I can't center the light fixture exactly where I want to. What's going to be our next solution so we can make sure it's the best outcome for everybody? And the same with the tile layout. I'll meet the tile installer out there. We'll lay all the tile out on the floor and figure out where the cuts are going to be so we don't end up with slivers of tile.
Alisa, do you apply for the permits, or does your contractor do that?
The contractor should apply for the permits. I know as an architectural designer, I could apply for the permits, but I find that I become a third wheel and they end up calling me for permission to go do the inspection instead of just communicating directly with the contractor.
Yeah. Have you heard from contractors on difficulties for them to do the remodeling work, you know, getting in there, tearing things out and then replacing everything? How difficult is it for them with protocols for the COVID-19 now?
It's not as bad as it could be. So it's where what happens is we have, it's probably another 5 to 10% cost to the homeowner if the homeowner is still living in their home during construction. Mm-hmm. So the way that it's written is we have to seal off our pathway to and from the space. And I have one project in construction. I have 2 projects in construction right now where we've done that. The contractor, every person who visits the job site has to do a temperature check, or say they have done a temperature check. I usually do mine at home before I leave. And I have to fill out a thing that says, hey, I'm signing into the job. I came on the site. You know, I'm here. And then, oh, by the way, I had COVID. Now they've got the tracing. The other thing is that at the end of the day, there's more cleanup. So anything the contractor has touched has to get wiped down, sanitized on their way out. But if a homeowner isn't living in their home, we don't have to sanitize on the way out every time.
You can do it at the end.
We can do it at the end, exactly.
Where do people move to when they're moving out? How long do these projects take?
Depends on the project. One of the ones, actually both of them in Berkeley, they're about 8 weeks per project. One of the homeowners, it's not their only bathroom. So we're coming in and out, and the homeowners are pretty much staying out of our hallway to walk up and down, with the exception of they have to go to their bedroom so that we wipe down the stair rails, but we can close off the other rooms and access. The other one I have, actually a few blocks from it, both of them are Thousand Oaks. It's her only bathroom. But thankfully, she has a very nice friend and neighbor 2 doors up who is allowing her to stay in her guest bedroom
During
basement.
construction.
Yeah, during construction. So they're still social distancing in that friend's home, but they're able to do it. Some people, if they have a second home, they go to a second home. If they have family, they go move with a family. If we're not, so in this case, it's the only bathroom, but we're changing the toilet from a standard toilet with a tank to a wall-mounted toilet to save a lot of space. And so we can't put a toilet in and take it out and put a toilet in and take it out. And we can do that if we stay with a tank style. And then in those cases, people go to a hotel for a week during the times that we can't put the toilet back in. Or in the past, they may have been okay with going to the porta potty outside. They may have gone to the gym to take their shower. So right now during COVID, it's more of the situation where you're most likely going to go to a hotel to stay for that week, especially when we're doing tile. We can't put the toilet back on because the tile foundations need to set and dry.
Another question, are there any materials that are harder to get in this economy?
It is fly by the seat of your pants. So what we have to do is we talk to our vendor and say, my client is interested in this. What's your current lead time? And we set our expectations. So if they say they're on back order, there are some plumbing companies that are notorious for back ordering something, but not telling you how far out. If they don't tell you, we're expecting to ship these out by a certain date, then you should be looking at something else completely.
Right.
If there's something that's being discontinued, you need to buy it all right then, because you won't have a chance to go back to it later. Anything else?
This is really helpful. I mean, I can see seeing this presentation makes it easier, you know, if I'm meeting with a family that needs care and their bathroom is just not conducive to providing it, and they, you know, it's obvious that they may be considering a remodel anyway, to just say, hey, I know the person that can really make this easier for you long-term by proper design.
I agree. I have so many customers asking me about the shower, and I didn't realize that it was so much more expensive to have it without a lip versus with a lip. And now I understand why.
Well, and there are some new innovations out there for that. I'm experimenting with one in my own house that's under construction. Our downstairs unit, it's been an illegal dwelling unit, so we're legalizing it and making it an accessory dwelling unit. And I found a shower pan that's really only about 3/4 of an inch thick. So when I butt my tile up to that, we'll only have maybe of 1/4 of an inch change in transition. And so I'm going to get a better sense of it once I've finished putting it in mine to see, will that solve some of those problems where we don't have to reframe if we have a really low threshold shower pan.
Yeah.
And I would just like to say that this, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
Could you even, just right there at that 3/4 inch lip type of thing, could you even just slightly put more mud under it so that it's a tiny bit of a ramp instead of a...
Sometimes that depends on the tile. The bigger tiles are a little harder to do that, or you have to do rectangular in that direction. And if you wanted to do a diagonal, for example, or you really wanted to go the other direction because that's what felt better in the room, it makes it a little trickier.
Got it.
But I know that the outside edge of this shower pan, it's curved, it's not a sharp edge. So I think, I mean, it fits in the trip tolerances that we have within residential design. 1/4 inch is a reasonable threshold.
Yeah. No, that would make a huge difference to some of the seniors that we provide care to.
Yeah, and it has a really good texture on the bottom, so I can't wait for it to be done so I can check it out myself.
I look forward to your feedback.
We all will.
Hannah, you had a question.
I had a comment. I just wanted to mention, I have asked designers to take a look at clients' homes for remodeling before, and clients who have physical problems now because of, for example, a hip replacement or whatever. And it's really important that the designer that you use is certified in universal design, because the vast majority of designers that I have happened to speak to are good at what they do, but they are more aesthetic designers, you know, colors and styles and all that kind of thing. And I searched, and Alisa is the only certified universal designer in our whole area. And when you're referring anybody for any kind of a job, obviously we feel the liability of making sure it's the best person that you can find. And so I was thrilled when I found her. Even the National Association of Designers, whatever the name of that is, couldn't help me. I had to go through the weeds by myself and I found her. So just want to mention that she stands out for this kind of work, and this kind of work is growing like crazy, you know? So that just wanted to make sure people understood that.
Well, and thank you, Hannah, because I didn't even know that there was such a specialty until
Yeah.
now. You know, that is
Yeah.
terrific.
Right.
And Alyssa's so thoughtful and so beautiful on the designs.
Thank
I
you.
agree. The other thing we're starting to see, and Christine, you know, both of us are seeing this, is that in some cases, people that had moved into assisted living, or, you know, that their kids are now pulling them out of there and putting them either in their home or in a smaller shared home type, you know, an ADA granny pod in their backyard type of thing. There's a lot of interesting kind of interesting things that are happening in that space of where our seniors going to live long term.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, and the family unit is becoming, especially with real estate being so high and young couples not being able to afford a new home, plus the caregiving aspect and just, you know, caregiving for a child. Some grandparents are acting as their caregivers for their grandchildren. And so there's a new renewal of family unit living.
Right. The multi-generational homes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the ADUs definitely solve a lot of that problem, where I've had some where the parents own the main building. They're building the ADU because they have a son who's in college right now, but their plan is when their son gets married and has children, they're going to swap houses.
A great idea. If they have the space in the backyard. I happen to live on a very, very steep hill that would not be conducive for that.
Yes, so my ADU is not in my backyard. It is in the basement.
And we have one there, but the stairs down to it, you know, if we were seniors, we wouldn't probably be able to use it.
Right. Unless we got you lift systems. Not a full-blown elevator, because those take 10 times more space than chair lifts and stair lifts.
I thought about elevators. Yeah. They've got new ones that are just like a round thing that just goes up and down, floor to floor.
Those
Kind
are
of-
legal in California.
Huh?
Those are the ones that don't have any enclosure are not legal in California.
Got it. I've just seen them in magazines.
Yeah, you could fall out of them. Okay.